What's up, survivors, biohazard enthusiasts, and people who absolutely try to knife Mr. X on hardcore? It's your chaotic narrator of trauma and trench coats, Resident Lynx. And today, we begin the impossible task, the absolute madness, the emotionally devastating journey through the life of the most unlucky, pretty, government-issued disaster of a man, Leon S. Kennedy. Strap in. This is not just a video. This is a psychological autopsy. And before we begin, if you enjoy watching fictional men get repeatedly thrown through walls by biological nightmares, please like and subscribe, because I am reliving 25 plus years of trauma for you. Let's go. Part 1. The Baby Cop Era. Leon Scott Kennedy, born 1977. No one knows much about his early childhood, but judging by how quickly he adapts to nightmare scenarios, I'm guessing either he had a very weird upbringing or he leveled up extremely fast, or Capcom just said, he'll figure it out. And in 1998, at 21 years old, he becomes a rookie police officer assigned to Raccoon City. Now, let's pause. Imagine being 21. You probably can't even figure out your taxes. Leon's about to fight weaponized capitalism, the breakup that caused the apocalypse. Canonically, Leon shows up late to his first day because he got dumped. Yes, a breakup delayed him long enough to miss the beginning of the outbreak, meaning if his girlfriend hadn't broken up with him, he would have been inside the R.P.D. when everything went to hell. So technically, heartbreak saved his life. This man owes his survival to emotional devastation. That sets the tone. Enter Raccoon City. Game, Resident Evil 2. Developed by Capcom. Also known as, welcome to your first shift, here's a zombie eating a guy. Leon drives into town, sees chaos. Gas station explodes. Cop gets bitten. Everything is on fire. And within approximately 15 minutes of gameplay, Leon shoots his first undead civilian. That is not in police training manuals. The R.P.D, Architectural Nightmare. He makes it to the Raccoon Police Department, which is actually a converted art museum, which means instead of logical layouts, we get secret passages, goddess statues, medallion puzzles, locked doors that require literal gemstones. Why was any of this necessary? No one knows, but Leon handles it like, this seems normal. Sir, this is not normal. Mr. X, corporate stress personified. Enter 7-foot-tall trenchcoat nightmare, boots that echo like impending doom, Mr. X. This man does not run. He walks, slowly, relentlessly, like your responsibilities catching up to you. Leon spends hours being chased, being punched through walls, hearing those footsteps from across the map. And what does he do? Keeps going. No panic attack, no breakdown, just, well, shit. That's resilience. Ada Wong, the emotional DLC. Leon meets Ada Wong, mysterious woman, red dress, gun skills, zero transparency. They flirt mid-apocalypse because apparently the zombie outbreak is the ideal for romantic tension. Leon knows her for approximately 4 hours. 4! And yet she becomes his entire emotional lore for the next 2 decades. She lies, she manipulates, she disappears, she dies, she doesn't die, she leaves again. Leon, yeah, I'm emotionally invested. Bro, therapy exists. The sewer arc. Why is there always a sewer? At some point, every horror game says, let's go underground. Leon fights giant alligator, mutating scientists, flesh blobs, industrial waste nightmares. And he's still technically a rookie. He's been a cop for like 6 hours. He's already solved more puzzles than a PhD candidate, killed more monsters than a medieval knight, and survived more trauma than a soap opera protagonist. And then, the government nukes the city, because subtlety is dead. Chapter 11. The Government Training Arc. After the events of Resident Evil 2, Leon doesn't get therapy. No beach episode. No healing montage. Instead, the US government says, congratulations on surviving bioengineered hell. You now work for us. Leon is essentially coerced into federal service to protect Sherry Birkin, which is sweet but also deeply manipulative. Imagine being 21 and the government says, work for us or the kid doesn't get protection. That's not recruitment, that's hostage energy. So Leon trains, and not just basic training. We're talking advanced firearms, counter-terrorism, hand-to-hand combat, tactical strategy, probably how to dramatically walk away from explosions. This is where rookie cop Leon becomes Agent Leon. The softness, gone. The fear, replaced with focus. The sass, loading. Chapter 12, The Evolution of Combat Leon. Let's break this down. In RE2, Leon is reactive. He survives. He adapts. But he's clearly learning as he goes. By the time we hit Resident Evil 4, this man is proactive chaos. The combat shift is insane. He no longer panics, hesitates, doubts. He analyzes, he isolates targets, he controls space, and most importantly, he roundhouse kicks infected villagers like they owe him rent. There is no reason he needed to be that stylish. None. But he chose violence and flair. Chapter 13, The Psychology of Leon S. Kennedy. Okay, let's get serious for a minute. Leon's defining trait isn't strength, it's endurance. This man survives the destruction of an entire city, government coercion, multiple betrayals, repeated exposure to bioweapons, the emotional whiplash that is Ada Wong. And he doesn't break, he bends. That's different. He compartmentalizes, he buries, he focuses on the mission, and over time, you can see the cost. By the CGI films like Resident Evil Vendetta, Leon is exhausted. He drinks alone, he isolates, he carries guilt like luggage he refuses to unpack. He's not unbreakable, he's just stubborn, and that's powerful as hell. Chapter 14, Leon versus Chris, the energy difference. Let's address it. Yes, we love Chris Redfield. Yes, he punches boulders, but compare the vibes. Chris, direct, military mindset, confrontational, punch first, ask questions never. Leon is observant, tactical, sarcastic, kicks first, quips second. Chris carries anger outward, Leon carries weight inward. Chris is force, Leon is precision. Both are absolute badasses, but Leon's style feels human, and that's why he hits differently. Chapter 15, The Ada Problem, again. We cannot continue without addressing the red-dressed elephant in the room, Ada Wong, Leon's emotional Achilles heel. Let's analyze this dynamic. Ada represents mystery, moral ambiguity, independence, emotional distance. Leon represents loyalty, idealism, emotional vulnerability, buried but present. She challenges his worldview. And here's the kicker. She sees through him. She knows he's idealistic. She knows he cares too much. She knows he'll choose the greater good every time. And she respects it, but she won't live inside it. That's the tension. Chapter 16, The Action Hero Transformation. Let's be honest, RE4 changed everything. Before Leon, survival horror was slow, claustrophobic, tense. After RE4, we got over-the-shoulder aiming, fluid combat, set-piece madness. Leon became the blueprint for modern third-person shooters, and that influence is massive. You can trace RE4's DNA into Dead Space, The Last of Us, Gears of War, basically half of modern action horror. And at the center of that shift, Leon S. Kennedy, the pretty cop who got really good at violence. Chapter 17, The Remake Era. Then came Resident Evil 2, and suddenly Leon felt real, more grounded, more emotionally expressive, less camp, more emotional weight. You could see fear in his eyes, you could hear doubt in his voice, and when he says, "I'll make it count," it lands. Then the Resident Evil 4 happens, and now Leon isn't just sassy, he's traumatized, reflective, haunted, still capable of flipping a cultist into orbit, but you feel the cost to now. The remakes didn't just modernize him, they deepened him, and that's character growth 20 years in the making. Chapter 18, Why Leon Endures. Some characters are strong, some are cool, some are iconic. Leon is all three. But more importantly, he evolves. From rookie cop to government agent, to hardened survivor to exhausted veteran. He's not frozen in time, he adapts with the franchise, and somehow never loses his core. Protect people, finish the mission, keep going, even when the world is absolutely screwed. Chapter 19, The Hair Theory. Okay, we need to address the most unrealistic part of this entire franchise, his hair. This man gets drenched, gets punched, gets blown up, falls through buildings, fights monsters in rainstorms, and that side part never moves. That's not styling, that's supernatural. Umbrella didn't create the strongest bioweapon, They created Leon's hair gel. Chapter 20. Final thoughts for Part 2. Leon S. Kennedy is not just a character. He's a case study in resilience, in adaptability, in what happens when someone keeps surviving long after they probably should have quit. He's tragic, he's funny, he's deeply tired, and he still shows up, every time. That's why he matters. If you made it this far, you are legally obligated to smash that like button, subscribe to Resident Lynx, and comment. If you've been enjoying this descent into stylish biohazard chaos, like and subscribe because I am reliving 25+ years of trauma for you. Let's go. Chapter 21. The Biohazard Timeline Breakdown. Leon doesn't just fight zombies. He fights science's worst ideas. Let's break down what this poor man has encountered. T-Virus, introduced by the Umbrella Corporation, primary chaos engine of Resident Evil 2. Effects: reanimation, mutation, complete societal collapse. Leon's exposure level: day 1 on the job. No orientation, just straight into undead apocalypse. The G-Virus, created by William Birkin. More mutation, more nightmare fuel. Results include eyeballs where they shouldn't be, arms the size of refrigerators, boss fights that violate several health codes. Leon handles it, again, as a rookie. That's absurd. Kala Plagas. Now we hit Resident Evil 4. This parasite doesn't just reanimate, it controls, it puppeteers, it makes villagers suddenly fluent in Chase the American. Leon gets infected. Yes, infected. And instead of panicking, he surgically removes it and continues the mission. Most of us call out sick with a cold. Leon fights a cold after brain parasite surgery. Different species. The C-Virus, seen in Resident Evil 6. This one spreads faster than rumors in high school. City-scale outbreaks, global threat, and Leon is once again dragged into chaos. At this point, he must wake up every morning like, all right, what strain are we fighting today? Chapter 22. Leon's combat ranking. Let's be honest, skill-wise, Leon is top tier. We're talking expert marksman, elite close quarters combat, tactical infiltration, high adaptability under stress, peak situational awareness. He fights mutated giants, bioengineered super soldiers, parasitic cult leaders, military-grade monsters, and somehow survives with a pistol, a knife, and sheer stubbornness. He doesn't rely on brute force like Chris Redfield. He relies on timing, precision, control. Leon fights smart, and that's why he lasts. Chapter 23. Moral Code Analysis. Here's something that makes Leon different. He doesn't enjoy the chaos. He doesn't thrive in it. He carries guilt, responsibility. He tries to save everyone, even when he knows he can't. That's why scenes where he fails hit harder, because you can see it in his face. He blames himself, always, even when the situation is wildly beyond his control. That's not arrogance, that's empathy. And empathy in a world of bioterrorism, that's rare. Chapter 24. The President Incident. In Resident Evil 6, Leon is forced into one of his most devastating moments. The President of the United States becomes infected, and Leon has to make the call. He pulls the trigger, not because he wants to, because he has to. That moment defines him. Duty over emotion. Again, the man sacrifices peace every time. Chapter 25. The Veteran Phase. By the time we see Leon later in life, he's not the cocky rookie. He's not even the playful agent from Resident Evil 4. He's experienced, tired, sharper, more guarded. In the remakes, especially Resident Evil 4, you see the evolution clearly. He questions orders more. He reflects. He's still capable of insane combat maneuvers, but emotionally, there's weight. Years of it. The legacy. Leon S. Kennedy has become one of gaming's most recognizable protagonists, not because he's invincible, but because he's human. Flawed, haunted, determined. He didn't ask for any of this. He just keeps stepping forward, even when the world is absolutely screwed. Leon S. Kennedy is the most traumatized government employee in history, the world's most stylish biohazard exterminator, and somehow still emotionally invested in a woman who grapples away every time. He's chaos wrapped in professionalism, and we love him for it. The greatest Leon boss fights, ranked. We are ranking these not just by difficulty, but by psychological impact, style, narrative weight, and what the hell is that factor. Number 5. William Birkin G-Forms. Game, Resident Evil 2. Birkin doesn't just mutate, he escalates. Every time you think it's over, new eyeball, new limb, new nightmare. For rookie Leon, this is baptism by fire. He's learning mid-fight, and the fact that he survives multiple G-forms on his literal first shift is unreasonable. Number 4. The Giant Alligator. Sewer level. Why is there always a sewer? This is where Leon realizes, okay, so the wild light is also hostile. It's ridiculous. It's cinematic. It's pure 90s horror energy. And Leon handles it like, sure, why not? Number 3. Dr. Salvador, Chainsaw Maniac. Game, Resident Evil 4. The first time you hear that chainsaw rev, panic. Instant panic. Leon goes from controlled agent to, oh no. But what makes this iconic is the tension. It sets the tone. This isn't Raccoon City anymore. This is aggressive rural nightmare. And Leon adapts fast. Number 2. Ramon Salazar. Tiny aristocrat, huge ego. Turns into tentacle cathedral. Salazar represents peak absurdity. And Leon's response? Sarcasm. He does not fear this man. He roasts him, mid-apocalypse. Confidence level, maximum. Number 1. Osmond Sadler. Cult leader, parasite king, final mutation nightmare. Game, Resident Evil 4. This fight is personal. Leon was infected. Ashley was infected. The stakes are global. And yet, when Ada tosses him the rocket launcher, it's cinematic destiny. Explosion, victory, hair untouched. Legend status confirmed. The savage one-liners. Leon's humor is coping mechanism. Let's be real. You don't quip unless you're deflecting trauma. Some energy examples. Villager threatens him. Leon, dry sarcasm. Salazar monologues. Leon, mockery. Sadler rants about evolution. Leon, no thanks, bro. He uses humor as armor. And it works. It keeps him steady. But it also tells us something deeper. If he stops joking, that's when we should worry. Now let's talk about Resident Evil 6. This is veteran Leon. He's seen too much. And when the president turns, when he has to make that choice, that's the fracture line. You can see it in his posture, in his voice, in the hesitation. He's no longer just reacting to horror. He's carrying history. And the more he fights, the heavier it gets. Leon doesn't snap. He absorbs. That's scarier. In Resident Evil 2, Leon feels vulnerable again. He's scared. He's inexperienced. He's compassionate. By Resident Evil 4, he's sharp but reflective. Less camp, more emotional realism. He questions Ada. He questions himself. He processes. The remakes give him nuance, and that elevates him from cool action guy to layered protagonist. The final scene that never happened. There is no official final Leon moment, no retirement scene, no peaceful sunset, no confirmed happy ending. And that's intentional, because Leon S. Kennedy isn't defined by an ending. He's defined by continuation, from Resident Evil 2 to Resident Evil 4 to Resident Evil 6 to the remakes and films. He never stops. The world falls apart. He adjusts his jacket and keeps moving. We can't end without mentioning Ada Wong. Does he end up with her? Maybe, maybe not. But here's the truth. Ada isn't Leon's ending. She's part of his journey. She represents the unknown, the gray, the pieces he can't control. And whether they walk off together or part again, Leon remains Leon. Let's imagine it. No outbreaks, no parasites, no government calls. Just a quiet house somewhere. Maybe near water. Maybe a dog. Maybe he fixes motorcycles. Maybe he trains recruits. Maybe he finally sleeps without waking up to sirens. Would he miss the chaos? Probably. But I think he'd choose peace if he believed it would last. That's the key. Leon fights because the world needs him, not because he enjoys it. Leon S. Kennedy became the face of an evolving franchise, the bridge between horror and action, one of gaming's most recognizable protagonists. Created by Capcom, but shaped by decades of storytelling. He grew with us, from wide-eyed rookie to seasoned veteran, and through every mutation, betrayal, and explosion, he never lost his core. Protect people, finish the mission, keep going. Final words from resident Lynx. Leon S. Kennedy isn't legendary because he's perfect. He's legendary because he's persistent. He gets knocked down. He gets manipulated. He loses people. He carries guilt. And he still shows up. Every time. That's the kind of hero that sticks. If you've watched this entire saga, you didn't just learn about Leon. You witnessed resilience. So comment below. If the next outbreak starts tomorrow, do you want Leon on the scene? Or do you finally let the man rest? Thank you for watching. Thank you for surviving this marathon. And remember, if it's your first day at work and you see someone eating a coworker, maybe just go home. This has been Resident Lynx. Stay safe, stay sarcastic, and until the next biohazard, peace.